Welcome to Explore History on YouTube, and I'm Dr. Scott McLean, and I'm going to talk about a very specific kind of document today. One that I don't get very often, but it is really interesting. And these are naval discharge papers. So this is from a sailor in the Merchant Marine in the Victorian period. So we've got documents from 1840s, 50s, 60s, 70s. And so right through the mid-period of the 19th century. And what is really interesting about these documents is, well, a number of things. One, there's not a lot of information in them because it's just one piece of paper. But when you put them together, you can actually get quite a bit. This is for a sailor by the name of Benjamin Sell. And in this one in particular, we can see the different information. You get a certificate of character, so when he would be discharged, they would write about his character. So this one says that he's very, sobriety was very good, and he's very well behaved. It gives you the name of the ship, the Hibernia, and it gives you the tonnage, the port of registry, Dublin, his voyage. Description of the voyage is to Quebec, and so we get to where he was going. He was discharged at Dublin, and this is on the 4th of December of 1858 is when he was discharged. So we get a lot of information in this. We've got another one here. This is from 1872. He was discharged at Liverpool after taking a trip to Bombay. And so, again, you get the name of the ship, its tonnage, the destination he's going to, his place of birth and his name. And on the back, we've got, again, something to do with his character and so on. So when he's discharged, he can immediately go sign up with another ship. And this is what we see. And one of the reasons why I love this collection, because normally when I find these kind of documents, it's just you find one or two. They're quite rare because they're very ephemeral. Not the kind of thing a lot of people kept. And it's just a simple little piece of paper. So I often do get these, but it's one or two from a particular sailor. Well, this one, Benjamin Sale, I've got 21 documents all related to the same sailor. And so what we can do with this is build a whole sort of story of this sailor. We can see throughout his life. He's born in 1833, and at a young age he heads off to sea, working the ships, works his way up through the ranks as well. And by the 1870s, he's been all over the world. 4 trips to China, he's been to Melbourne, Australia, he's been to the coast of California, the western coast of North America, South America, the Baltic, Bombay, so he's been to India, South Africa, Nova Scotia. He's been all over the world. And it's quite amazing when you put this story together throughout all of this, and we can see basically reconstruct his life. This was a guy who spent an enormous amount of time at sea at a time when, of course, sea travel was still fairly dangerous. We're just getting the steam ships coming in at this time, and he's making these very long voyages. At one point he actually goes to India and gets discharged in India, and there's no documents for another 2 years, so we don't know if he stayed in India for a couple of years or if that document simply went missing. But we can really put together a map of where this fellow went. And if you can imagine the experiences he must have had going to all these different countries at that time. Absolutely incredible. It tells us a lot about the British Empire, where trade was, what colonies were held by Britain at that time. But also he's going to other places that are in the sphere of influence of Britain, but not under their control. And so this is all about trade in this global community, which already by this time is well established. We think of us being in that kind of world today. This is something that was going on much earlier, and we see this spreading all across the globe. So it really gives an interesting insight into the life of a sailor at this time, but also into just how trade was changing at this time and how it was developing, and the networks which were emerging throughout the globe. If he's going to India, they're going to probably stop, one of their stops was Tenerife, but they certainly go down, stop at the Cape, revictual, sometimes Madagascar, then on to India. And then maybe they're gathering another load there and they're coming back, or maybe stopping in Australia as those colonies were emerging as being significant. And so there's all sorts of information we can gather here. A very simple little document, but one of real interest. Hope you enjoyed it. If you do, you can follow us on YouTube, on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And give us a like and you'll sign up to our YouTube channel. There's going to be lots more of videos like this, the documents that I'm finding when I go out to the auctions and markets and so on, and also just give you some background about what these kind of documents are.